Pakistan's terror hypocrisy on display. Lectures on terrorism as it bombs Afghan hospital. US official struggles to hide his smile as Pakistan delivers lecture on terrorism. A case of pot calling the kettle black? American diplomat's smile says it all. The United Nations Security Council unanimously decided to extend the mandate of the United Nations Assistance Mission in Afghanistan for an additional period of 3 months, signaling continued global engagement in the region. All members of the Security Council, including Pakistan, backed the decision without any opposition and expressed their full support for the ongoing work and responsibilities of the United Nations Assistance Mission in Afghanistan. During the session, Islamabad raised concerns and highlighted what it described as a sharp increase in cross-border terrorism emanating from Afghan territory into Pakistan. Interestingly, the representative of the United States was noticed smiling at the moment when Pakistan brought up the issue of terror threats linked to Afghan soil.
I give the floor to the representative of Pakistan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Pakistan has voted in favor of the resolution just adopted, extending UNAMA's mandate by 3 months. Pakistan supports UNAMA in promoting peace, security, and stability in Afghanistan, which confronts multiple challenges, particularly the increasing threat of terrorism, human rights violations, narcotics trafficking, and diminishing humanitarian aid. We commend China for its sterling role as penholder and for its sincere efforts to forge consensus by taking on board the concern of all Council members. We welcome the unanimous adoption of this resolution. Mr. President, Pakistan has consistently asserted that the foremost amongst the challenges faced in Afghanistan is the deteriorating security situation and exponential rise in the threat of terrorism emanating from Afghanistan. Elements within the Taliban regime are actively collaborating, let alone providing a permissive environment to several terrorist groups such as the TTP, BLA and Majid Brigade, ISIL-K, Al-Qaeda, and ETIM, operating with impunity inside Afghanistan and responsible for cross-border attacks against Pakistani civilians and law enforcement personnel, targeting critical infrastructure and public places. Through this resolution, the Council has expressed serious concern over the presence of terrorist groups in Afghanistan, which, I quote, continue to constitute a threat to international peace and security, unquote. It has called on the Taliban, I quote, to take active, immediate, demonstrable, and concrete measures to combat terrorism in all its forms and manifestations, wherever and by whomever committed, unquote. Through this resolution, the Council also outlines its expectations to strengthen the safe and secure management of weapons and ammunition to prevent their diversion to terrorist groups. President, as mandated, UNAMA has a responsibility to effectively monitor and analyze the security dynamics across the country that include a better understanding of the illicit economy, supporting efforts to prevent and address the illicit trade and destabilizing accumulation of small arms and light weapons and their diversion in Afghanistan and the region, and supporting efforts to create conditions conducive to the reintegration of refugee population in Afghanistan. We must also remain cautious of disinformation advanced by local Taliban elements who continue to create obstacles for access to UNAMA personnel across the country. At the same time, we hope UNAMA will report objectively about the security developments on ground by taking into account the legitimate security concerns and expectations of Afghanistan's immediate neighbors who are faced with serious threats from Afghan soil. Finally, we hope the next 3 months will allow us to review UNAMA's role in Afghanistan in a manner that will help us achieve the long-term goals of peace and stability in Afghanistan that is at peace with itself and its neighbors. I thank you.
Pakistan's strong rhetoric on terrorism came even as it reportedly carried out a deadly strike on a hospital in Kabul on Monday night, an attack that killed around 400 people and triggered widespread outrage. The Pakistani strike targeted a massive 2,000-bed addiction treatment center located in the Afghan capital, Kabul, according to officials who confirmed the scale and location of the impact. An Afghan deputy government spokesperson stated that the airstrike caused extensive destruction, with large sections of the medical facility completely devastated in the attack. The deputy spokesman of Afghan government said, and I quote, "The Pakistani military regime carried out an airstrike on the Omid Addiction Treatment Hospital, a 2,000-bed facility dedicated to the treatment of drug addiction. As a result of the attack, Large sections of the hospital have been destroyed and there are serious concerns about a high number of casualties. Unfortunately, the death toll has so far reached 400, while around 250 others have been reported injured. Rescue teams are currently at the scene working to control the fire and recover the remaining bodies of the victims." Unquote. A Taliban spokesperson also strongly condemned the strike, describing it as a crime against humanity and accusing those responsible of targeting innocent civilians. Pakistan, however, rejected the allegations, denying that it had targeted any hospital and dismissing the Afghan claims as baseless and misleading.